Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is KDK Kyodaiken. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we are going to take a look at the all-new, brand-new Spektrum Dashboard with the new Bluetooth receiver. You guys know I picked it up today. Let's get into it. Let's rock and roll. You know what time it is. Today we're going to go ahead and sync up our brand new Spektrum BT2000. This device allows you to get telemetry on the new Spektrum radios, the DX3. At the bottom left of my screen, this is the new software that you will need to purchase, or actually it's free, I'm sorry. You do need to download from the iOS store. I also know that Android currently works as well. It was just updated and released today. And so we're going to go ahead and test this with our Arrma Felony. It's one of my favorite cars. Got my lights and everything already hooked up. And so this is going to be my first telemetry experience. I've seen telemetry in person, and I originally wanted to experiment with that with the Traxxas X01. But unfortunately, all those parts and all of the extra little sensors that you needed were really expensive for what you needed. I think they're, what, 15, 20 bucks, and you needed several of them, whatever, to get telemetry to work. I know Traxxas has kind of changed their model, but anyway, yeah, I've moved on to Arrma. The Felony is my favorite car right now, and so in this video, I'm going to show you how to get this thing synced up and experiment with this today. All right, so this is the new Bluetooth module adapter that you will need to sync up with your iPhone or your Android device, whatever you guys prefer. I'll probably use this with my cell phone and also iPad. But installation is pretty simple, so let's go ahead and get this installed really quickly. This thing is really tiny. If you guys watched my previous video, you'll notice it's the same size or a lot smaller than a credit card. I was actually expecting it to be a little bit bigger. So on the front of your remote control, this is the Spektrum DX3 for the Felony. And I believe this also works with the new Creighton and also the V2 Arrma. So you guys will have to check your information, but I believe all of those come with the new telemetry setup as well. So for example, the Outcast 8S and the new Creighton 8, I believe it also comes with that as well. And so we're just going to take this little module adapter. In fact, let me go ahead and move this off my screen so you guys can see this a little better. All right. And you're going to hook up the little module right there on that little receiver port right there. All right, so here we have the module adapter. We're going to go ahead and get it installed. Make sure you pull off the little foam protector that's there. I thought this maybe would fit with it, but apparently it doesn't. So I went ahead and removed it. So now we're going to go ahead and get this installed. All right, so when you go ahead and install this, make sure it is installed at an angle. It doesn't install straight away. So for example, here, I should give you guys a better picture. It is installed facing more or less towards me and not flat against the surface. So that's just something to be aware of. But it fits in really nicely, so let's go ahead and get the cover back on. But before we actually put the cover on, I'm sorry, we're gonna turn the controller on, hit the bind button to go ahead and sync it up to our phone. And then we'll go ahead and test a few telemetry settings. As you can see, it's hooked up. And I'm going to hold in the bind button here. I'm going to go ahead and use a little screwdriver because I think this thing is a little delicate based upon the position. I don't want to press on it too hard because it could possibly pop out of socket. Alright, so now that we have it bind, or we're going to bind it right now. Go ahead and go to our Bluetooth settings. And as you can see on my phone, or actually I'll pull up the screen capture so you guys can see it. You will see a device there called the BT2000, so we're going to go ahead and sync it up to that. Okay, so I did a little playing around, and for whatever apparent reason, well actually I understand the reason now. I have the Bluetooth module already inserted, and I didn't have to bind it. Now I did have a little problem here. It took a couple minutes to try to figure out what was going on here, and apparently because I downloaded the Spektrum Dashboard app prior to today's release, it was still showing up as on the iPhone device as DX2 Spektrum software or dashboard. And so what you have to do, if any of you have already downloaded the software prior to what's today's date? Today is what, the 25th, I believe it is. So today's the 25th. So if any of you have downloaded the dashboard app prior to this, you will need to delete it. And when you reinstall the software, it will just say Spektrum something or the other. And so as of right now, again, I said I didn't have to rebind this, but I do have it connected, as you can see, on my phone, and it is now working. So just a little FYI, make sure you delete any old software and reinstall it after today's date, and you guys should be good to go. All right, so now I'm going to move over to the RC car. I'm going to go ahead and put my camera on that. Brought it in the house. I was originally going to do a run video, but since this video is more or less about the dashboard and just kind of getting you guys used to it, so you can take a look at all the benefits the new Spektrum system has with the Felony, and I believe obviously this also works with the infraction. So we're going to do screen capture here on the phone, and then of course I'm going to have the camera facing the Felony so you can see all the speed changes and just kind of get a little familiar with the telemetry setup. So let's go ahead and move over to the RC car and we'll be good to go. All right, so we have the car hooked up and we have the Bluetooth fully activated. So the first thing that you'll notice, it'll say update firmware. The transmitter has firmware version 1.4. Do you want to install version 1.5? And you will hit update. So I know apparently a lot of people had problems trying to use this software prior to release, but it looks like in order to get the new software, you do need to have the Bluetooth module in order to work with this. So this is only going to take a few seconds, and then we'll go ahead and test out telemetry settings. And I'm going to select from transmitter because obviously I don't have any new information for it. So here we have another look at our settings. You have your steering and you also have your throttle. Another good thing that you definitely want to do is make sure you click that link square over there on the right. That makes sure you get all of your telemetry settings. And also, just to let you know, I did have a few issues with the controller after I synced it up. And for whatever apparent reason, it seemed like there was either a delay or it was non-responsive, but turning it off and then turning it back on pretty much did the trick. I'll probably follow up with this in another video to see if I have further issues with that, but other than that, it pretty much worked a-okay. Okay, so now back on the dashboard, I've had a few moments to play around with it and just double check some settings. So the first thing I would recommend for anyone is obviously make sure you type in the name of your car, your model number and everything, just the little simple things. But first we're going to look at channel setup, and this is something that I recommend everybody to do. For your steering, you want to make sure you hit the link option. Obviously I'm already linked. And then we'll go over to throttle. You want to make sure you link that. You want to go to auxiliary 1. Make sure you link that as well, and also auxiliary 2. Now another thing that I did have happen is when I did sync this up to the controller, it asked me did I want to sync up from the controller or to the controller. And obviously I selected sync up to the controller. So we're going to go ahead and minimize this now. And we are going to go ahead and move on over to our RC car. And I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And I'm not going to pin it. Currently I am at 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me pull it up so you can see it. So currently I am at 71 degrees Fahrenheit and I have 24.6 volts running currently. So let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, let's let it rip. right, so I'm going to go into reverse now. Okay, so I'm using stock gearing on the Arrma Felony, and so we had a little assistance there from little Kyodai. And yeah, I'm honestly impressed with the software. Now, I will tell you that it is a little bit delayed. There is probably about a good 2 or 3 second delay on here as far as the response time from the remote to my phone or for the dashboard. But it's running pretty good. So as you guys can see, my top speed is 68 miles an hour. Going backwards is probably about 55 miles an hour. But yeah, overall, this is a great telemetry system. I mean, for 14 bucks, you get everything included with the Arrma card. My voltage, obviously, that didn't move too well. And my temperature, my max temp was about, what was it, about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So it wasn't too bad whatsoever. I do have a few added lights on here. I'm not sure if that's going to throw off the telemetry a little bit as far as everything that it's capable of doing. But this is the overall impressive system. Spektrum and Arrma has really done a really great job with this product. I anticipate them selling a lot of these. I know that there were some issues where people saying it did, other systems didn't work or it didn't work too well, but I'm really impressed with this. But like I said, for 14 bucks, you're getting everything here. You're getting the status and let you know everything that's going on with this particular software. I'll probably do a follow-up review when I actually get out into the field to see exactly how this performs on actual pavement. I had to stand up and hold it down because I didn't want it to knock off my toolbox there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is Kyodai demonstrating the Arrma Felony with the Spektrum DX3 radio receiver with the telemetry. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you guys want to see more videos like this. But yeah, again, this is a really easy tool to really set up. You don't need any additional modules. All you need is this one particular module that hooks up into the front of your radio, and you're pretty much set. So hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will catch you guys later.